Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, Vibes with Intuitively D, where you get read by me, Astro and Tarot Things. Today I'm back with a new video. It is the Jupiter in Cancer transit video, and if you didn't know, now you know. We have a huge shakeup in our outer planets. Jupiter is moving into the nurturing, emotional, savvy sign of Cancer on June 9th, 2025, and it's going to stay there. It'll do some retrogrades, of course, but it's going to stay there until June 29th, 2026, when it moves into Leo, in which I'm really excited about because I'm a Leo rising and a Mars in Leo, and I think that's going to be great for me. But I digress. Let's talk about what this means. If you like my style, if you like my content, please subscribe, share, comment, and it lets YouTube know that people like it. And here we go. If you want to see what this means for your rising sign, then just push the timestamp if you don't want to know the intro, because I'm going to give a little intro because I'm a teacher at heart. Then you can definitely just hit the timestamp with your rising sign and see how this might manifest for you. But let's get into it. So we know Jupiter, the planet of good fortune, good luck. It is also the ruler of faith, the legal system, distant and foreign travel, philosophy, abundance, wisdom, good luck. It's the old school ruler of Pisces, and it's the ruler of Sagittarius. It spins like a maniac, which makes sense when you look at your Sag friends and they're here, there, and everywhere, right? But you love them. It is the ruler of the ninth house, which is the house of faith, philosophy, foreign and abroad travel. And remember, Jupiter is there to increase, enlarge, especially when it comes to anything and everything. So people think like, oh, Jupiter is the planet of good luck and good fortune and expansion, and it is. But it doesn't discriminate. It expands everything. So while we love to say it is the expander of good fortune and good luck, it can also expand our indulgences. We could be overly happy, overly optimistic, because Jupiter also rules over optimism and hope. So that's a little bit about Jupiter. When we talk about the sign of Cancer, it's the ruler of the fourth house. It is ruled by the moon. It also rules over, I don't know, I was going to say this word, but I felt like it'll get flagged, so I'm not going to say it. I'll say something else. It rules over the family. It rules over your emotional status and well-being. Of course, over plants, water, your solar plexus, which is your self-confidence, your self-worth. It rules over women in general. That should make sense for everybody. The womb, where you live, your residence, so your living situation, who you're living with, and our reproductive system. So definitely feminine energy here. Jupiter is going to love being in the sign of Cancer. It is going to really emphasize intelligence and nurturing and instinct and listening to intuition, staying hopeful, making your dreams come true, and a really I don't know, we might have a hard time grounding, to be honest, but it is going to make those things happen. With this transit, good fortune could come from being sympathetic, being charitable, comforting other people. You're going to want to protect what you value. You're going to want to really nurture and care for yourself and others. Really being in tune with other people, compassionate, sympathetic, and hopefully you don't get lost in the background when it comes to that. Good times to look at where you might want to travel to that might be nourishing to you, where you might want to move. All of that stuff all of those things fall into the realm of this. And of course, I'll go into what it means for your rising sign. But just overall collective, I think it's going to be sweet. People are like, don't give everybody this sweetness. Growth and success can be found by strengthening your emotional foundation. So if you've been on rocky ground with family, and this is not the people that have gone no contact, that don't ever want to speak to their family again, but if you want to grow closer to family, this is a good transit to do so. If you want to grow your family, this is a good transit to do so. If you want to build more space for your family, this is a good transit for that. Let's see. You're going to want to value your intimate connections. Hello. There's probably going to be a sense of like higher power, spiritual connection, women coming into knowing like they are divine, which is super sweet. And I think I'm going to mention the square to Saturn. Sorry. Yes, in Aries, that might be a little fisticuffs of this like masculine and feminine energy having to battle it out and bring some balance in back into the world. Your intuition, your imagination, compassion are really just going to be ways that you're going to want to flow with this energy less. Finally, Jupiter is out of a sign that it's not very comfortable in, and now it's going to be in a sign that it's very comfortable in. So, like, really getting in tune with your soul, your heart space, really sweet resting a little bit more is going to be the way to go with this transit. Let's see. If you're in the healing space, like a holistic healer, whether it's an astrologer, Reiki healer, tarot reader, this is going to be like your time to shine and really support others in a very authentic way. So I'm excited about that. All right. The first, when Jupiter enters Cancer June 9th, it is going to immediately make a square with Saturn in Aries and Neptune in Aries as well, but we're going to just talk about the Saturn one, and that happens on June 15th, 2025. It's going to test your faith. It's going to be like fear over abundance, right? This idea of like we're hoping, we're being optimistic, and Saturn's like, no, do you have a plan? Is this going to work? You can't just kind of willy-nilly do something. So Jupiter is going to expand some Saturn principles, but together it's going to bring forth, like, going to teach you how to be persistent, patient, and persevere, not be overly optimistic, which I think will be really good for us. And overall, I think that's where it's going to be like calculated risk or what you need to obtain your dream. So there's this thought, this overarching theme of balancing your dream, doing, and persevering. So that'll be that overarching thing of the Jupiter Saturn square. But, and with that being said, September 2025, September 3rd specifically, Jupiter in Cancer is going to trine the North Node in Pisces. And if you didn't know, Jupiter is Pisces' old school ruler. And so this is just like a sweet, harmonious aspect. It is going to bring like your aha moment of how you move forward intuitively. Our philosophies are going to be highlighted and how we want to move forward in those and engaging in those. It is a really good time for learning a healing modality, practicing a healing modality, teaching, guiding, writing about that would be really good things September 2025, but really just sharing ideas with others. Of course, you want to look at, and I'll talk about this in the videos that follow for each rising sign, you want to look at where this is happening in your chart because this is where it's going to manifest the most. But that transit is really going to encourage growth, learning, of course, self-improvement. Really, I'm going to really harp on this taking care of your mental health as well as your physical health, because Jupiter in Cancer and the North Node in Pisces, there could be some kind of like illnesses, sicknesses. And so you just really want to make sure that you are staying healthy mentally and physically. I still love it for us. It's really about embracing your vision with a balanced intuition, getting with like-minded other people, because Jupiter is a very social kind of planet. But it's really going to help us just really come together and dream big and make those dreams happen. And I'm really, really excited for this transit. It is, if you have big cardinal placements, it is going to square those placements or oppose them. But if you have things in Capricorn, it'll oppose them. But those are things that are just, there will be obstacles and challenges to get you to your most best self, right? To maybe come into yourself a little more self-confidence, a little more motivation. And I just love that for us. Like I said, if you want to see your rising sign and how this might affect you, please stay tuned and click the timestamp because it's coming up next. Hi, Aries and Aries Rising. It's your girl. And you're going to get read today. So this is your Jupiter in Cancer video. This is happening in your fourth house of home, family, and roots. It is from June 9th to 2025 to June 29th, 2026, with some retrogrades in there. Immediately when Jupiter enters Cancer in your fourth house, it's going to square any cardinal placement, not any, but it's going to square your Aries placements if they're between 0 and 4-ish degrees, your Libra placement, and then it's going to make an opposition to your Capricorn placement, right? So lots of change and transformation in this transit. I'm going to say it's for the positive with some caveats that it's going to take you slowing down. It's going to take you looking at the big picture when it comes to home and family and what that means to you and what that looks like to you. I really think this can be a time when you expand, because remember, Jupiter is about expansion, about wisdom, about faith, and Cancer is about being nurturing and emotionally connected and secure. So when you put those two things together, it's like, what about the home space? What about your family? What about that? What about your roots? Needs to be reevaluated and then expanded upon. And while this might not be a super comfortable time for you, because you might have to make some decisions that make other people mad or other people frustrated, this is really the Lovers in reverse. This is really about you and coming into contact. Let me cover their bumps. Coming into contact with what you want, your alignment, and less about being validated from other people, specifically family. It's going to make a really lovely aspect in September 2025 to your 12th house of Pisces, because the North Node is there. So there's this, like, we can heal from family trauma, we can make amends, we can move on from it in a way that is authentic and healing and intuitive and emotionally secure and stable. I would say this transit for you is really about thinking long term for your family, thinking about what family home situation, if you're thinking about a move, you might do it. A couple of other cups came up. If the family has been super stingy, if you've been feeling out of your, if you've been feeling out of sorts lately, this Jupiter in Cancer transit really is saying, like, hey, you need to pause, especially because of the Saturn square it's going to make. You need to pause. You need to see what's really good for you. Let me put them in the order that they came out. And come back to yourself. And then some offers will appear, some joy, some passion will appear. So you have the Lovers in reverse, which is like, really, there is an alignment. Honestly, that's what I'm getting. An alignment with the people that you live with the place that you live in. So maybe you're not feeling super comfortable with where you live. It's just you have grown out of it. And you are feeling very like, woe is me. I thought this would be the place. I thought this would be how my family would work out, whatever that looks like for you. But they're just not giving. And what you're not seeing is that there are other opportunities. There are other ways to go about that. You're probably so single-minded, Aries-like, that if it's not appearing the way that you want it to appear, then you're like, no. And that steals your joy. Page of Wands in reverse. When you are not able to step back, look at the big picture and see that there are other opportunities, other people, other familial like collaborations and groups to make you feel whole and secure and aligned, then that takes you out of your joy. It takes you out of your creative vibe, and it's hard. It's a woe is me kind of situation. So, my suggestion for you, because you know I'm a restorative, rest minded person, is really during the next year, find groups, find community that might not look the way that you think they should look, but it will do you a world of good to be around people that are more authentically aligned to what you want it to be, to how you need it to be, to who you are in this moment in time. Over the last 2 years, you have probably more than two, honestly, have changed. And if you're in your Saturn return right now, you are going to change exponentially in the next 2.5 years. So, this Jupiter in Cancer really wants you to see where you can feel supported, where you can expand in your home situation, in your family. And family doesn't always mean blood. I hope this helps for you. If you like to work with me, for this transit and how you can rest through it, how you can navigate through it, my links are somewhere. I will see you next time. Hi, Taurus and Taurus Rising. This is your Jupiter in Cancer video. For you, this is happening in your third house of communication, your siblings, your learning, short distance trips, traveling. This year long transit is going to make a sweet aspect to a harmonious aspect to your Taurus placements. The Cancer sextiles Taurus. So there's a very harmonious, peaceful aspect to it. So you can work really well with this energy. I really love this for you. If you've been thinking about writing, blogging, going back to school to learn journalism or some communication um, skill, this would be the time to do so. If your writing has something to do with nurturing, expanding the family, women, reproductive rights, faith, anything like that will work really lovely and suit you during this time period. So if you've been thinking about teaching or expanding and teaching in other places and blogging about your short distance trips, this would be the time to do so. Also, if you need to connect with your siblings, this is a good time to have a good little chat and some time around that. If you also have been wanting to do work in the community, like expand, making sure your community is a little more expansive and nurturing, this could be an opportunity to do that. Let's take that card. But this is definitely a time to grow closer to your community. It is going to make a harmonious aspect to Pisces in your 11th house. So this is a time this is a time that you can really grow your community, change your friendships, embrace new networks. The two cards that popped out for you are the King of Swords, which was first. So really standing on business, teaching, learning, communicating very clearly to other people, which, like, I mentioned that already. So this is really great. Let me flip it this way because I think it's in reverse, of course. And then the other card that came out was the Seven of Wands in reverse. So really, maybe you have been protective of your work, protective of your peace, your space, your teachings, and were a little bit hesitant about sharing it, that people might be like, you don't know what you're talking about, or not vibe with that. I'm telling you, if you are a little bit more vulnerable, this could be a great time for people to find you, because your words are going to have so much power. They're going to resonate with so many people. They're going to nurture like other people and until give you the confidence to keep doing that. I think this is just a really sweet time to have heart-centered conversations as well. If you've been like guarding your heart or um, being on the defensive about certain things, as if it's with the siblings, if it's with people in your community, your neighborhood, your neighbors, this could be a really opportune time for you to like have conversations that can clear the air, and you move forward very confidently, moving very bravely in that. If you'd like to work with me, you know where to find me. I hope, let me give you some ways to work with this. So lots of breath work, if that is third house, third house is ruled by Gemini, right? So it's lots of breath. So you can light incense when you're working, writing, teaching, doing something like that. You can do a lot of breath work if that is in your practice. I'm also going to tell you that you probably will need a lot of rest as well. So breath work would be really lovely. Just sitting out in the air. Maybe you write when you're out somewhere, you're a Taurus. So if you're sitting in the grass, definitely take a pen and a paper and write. But definitely come back to the breath over and over again as much as you can. All right. I hope that is helpful for you. Hi, Gemini and Gemini Rising. This is your Jupiter in Cancer video. June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026, year long with some retrogrades in there. For you, this is happening in your second house of money, your self-worth, your values, your material possessions. And immediately when it enters, hello girl, where is your brain? When it enters Cancer, it is going to square Saturn and Aries in your 11th house. So this may be like your network, like you were depending on your network to really like lift you up or give you that connect or that hookup for a little more money. And maybe that just is a little delayed, like your network needs to shift a little bit. Anywho, with this transit, Jupiter, is the planet of good fortune and expansion and good luck and wisdom. I love this for you. It's about expanding your sense of value. And with all these things that have been happening in your 12th house, you probably are like so exhausted. Like, oh my God, am I me? Am I who I am? And Jupiter is going to come into your second house and be like, yeah, you're exactly who you are at this moment, both financially and emotionally, right? Because Cancer wants to make sure that we are emotionally valued, we are emotionally stable as well. While Jupiter can bring some good money in, like if that business idea or you ask for that raise, that can definitely happen during this transit. But Cancer there wants to make sure that the money you're making is also good for your mental health, also good for your self-worth. And I love that for you. The card that fell out, and I'll see if I can get another one, is the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is people coming in offering you support. And when I was talking about the 11th house of your friendships, hopes, wishes, and dreams, and then it's going to make a trine in September to the 10th house of your work and your career and your legacy. Maybe friendships are changing and you find your people that really help you navigate how to make more money, navigate who you are in this world and that you matter in this world. So there is going to be a sense of like people coming in. It could be like old people that you haven't talked to, not old people, but people you haven't talked to in a while coming back in. So for this transit, you're just really being called to nurture your self-worth. So if you've been feeling a little low, I would say like work with some people. I'm a rest girly, so I would say, and an astrology girly. So if you need to work with like a life coach, a spiritual coach, or just get back into a practice that makes you feel good again, whether that is restorative yoga, yoga nidra, vinyasa, whatever that is, breath work, because you're a Gemini, then that's something that you might want to look for during this transit. It's going to really show you that you need to, the cards just don't be lying, Knight of Pentacles. The transit is going to show you that your self-worth is aligned to your resources and your values. Your abundance is going to come from what you deserve. So if you're frazzled, even in our most frazzled state, because lots of us are during this time period, but both Pentacle cards, so money up and up, someone comes into support and you're walking towards financial self-worth, abundance, right? I love this for you. There is Knight of Pentacles is really about like, here, let me really offer you this stable, grounded, rooted, do you know what I'm saying? Practical, logical, Capricorn energy. So this is an opportunity for you to really like come back to yourself financially and emotionally if the last year and a half has been kind of wonky to you. Lean on your friends, let them know what's going on so they can also help you during this transit. I hope this has been helpful. Please let me know in the comments. And yeah, see you soon. Hi, Cancer and Cancer Rising. This is exciting. So this is your Jupiter in Cancer video. This transit lasts for a year from June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026 with some retrogrades in there. And this is going to be transiting your first house of self identity, your ambitions, your goals. And I like this for you. It could be quite. I'm going to take that card. It flipped over. And let me see if I can find and post it because I don't want to get banned on any kind of social media. And I just want her. It's going to look a little seedy. Anyway, it's not a little seedy, but you know, people don't like nudity. Anywho, so this is happening in your first house, right? It's a time where this year you can really glow up. You can really look really appealing to other people as if you don't already. But this is a time where your emotional stability, security, anything that you want can possibly happen because Jupiter is here to expand, give you good luck, give you good fortune, and really it's you. It is going to, like I tell everybody, it is going to square Saturn and Aries immediately for all of us, and then specifically for you in your 10th house. So there could be like, oh, I applied for this job. I want to be a leader in this place. I'm trying to be known as this, and it's not going as quickly or as effortlessly as you would like it to be. And I'm here to tell you the square doesn't last that long. So just be patient and use your intuition and rest, because when the square is over, that's, I think, when things will be moving so sweetly and so effortlessly for you. You're also in September going to have a really lovely trine to Pisces in your ninth house, the North Node and Pisces in your ninth house. And it's really about, do I want to go travel to foreign and abroad places? Do I want to learn something new? Do I want to teach something new in somewhere else? Expanding that way. Do I want to move somewhere and expand that way? I think this is overall a very positive transit for you, and you probably need it and deserve it, and your card came out. Maybe you've been a little bit stagnant and not knowing how you're going to move or how you move forward and what you should do next. Be patient for the rest of June and the beginning of July. Not ruminate, but make like big picture your life. See what you want to be. See where you want to be a year from now, because there's something, the star came out in reverse first. So the star was like, hey, there's some maybe like unhealed work that needs to be done. There's just like some things that need to be like put to bed. You have to work through them to move forward. And like, I'm always going to say this. You don't need to be 100% healed to get the things that you want, to have the life that you want. You do have to actively be self-aware and like make notes of that so you can move forward in a more authentic way. I hope that makes sense. But with your card coming out, the Chariot, it's like you have the ability, the wherewithal to move forward in the way that you want to move forward. Maybe there is some confusion on what path to take. It doesn't matter. You're your own magic. You can make it happen no matter what. Jupiter is going to teach you that you are your own magic. You don't need to wait for anybody else to validate you that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right thing. This is your business. It is how you want to be perceived in the world. It is how you want to show up for yourself. It is what goals you have for yourself. I think it's about you pressing on. Here's my little suggestion for you. As you know, I'm a rest enthusiast, a yoga teacher, a sound practitioner. When you get frazzled, when you start feeling like you don't know where you're headed, go near a body of water, right? Cancer Rising. Come on, let's be honest. Go near a body of water. Meditate, journal, listen to vibey music, take showers, take baths, breathe, just come back to yourself. Take a yoga practice, steam rooms. Is that right? Yes. Yes. Do those things to help you come back to yourself, to help you settle, to ground a little bit more. But I love this transit for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if this is resonates with you and how you are, what you gonna do, what are your goals during this time. All right, see you next time. Hi, Leo and Leo Rising. This is your Jupiter in Cancer transit video, June 9th, until June 29th, 2026. This is transiting your 12th house, the house of the subconscious, the house of rest and healing. And boy, oh boy, have you had some things go to the 12th house, and maybe you're exhausted and you're feeling like, where am I going in this life? Come on, like, let's get it together. I am also a Leo rising, so I feel this wholeheartedly. But let's talk about the things that are going to happen. Right when Jupiter enters Cancer in your 12th house, it's going to make a square to now with Saturn and Aries in your ninth house. So there could be some feeling of like you want to travel, but something is getting delayed. You want to move overseas or foreign and abroad. You want to learn something new. You want to expand your faith-based practice, but something is just not moving in the way that you want it to move. Be patient. It won't last the whole entire time. There's just this inkling of like, it's just not moving fast enough for you. You want to expand. You're ready for that good fortune to come in. It's just going to be a little bit slower. What I do like in this year, September 2025, is that it's going to make a very positive aspect. Two cards fell out. It's going to make positive aspect to the North Node and Pisces in your eighth house, right? So there's going to be this ability for you to maybe merge towards the end of the year with a partner, maybe get a loan, maybe get a grant, maybe get an inheritance to help you work through like whatever is going on in the background. So I think this is like your intuition is starting to come back on board. You're starting to see things a little bit more clearly. You're starting to believe in yourself a little bit more. You're starting to filter out what's working and what's not working. This year is going to be a stillness year for you. I'm in a 12th house year, right? I'm 47. And fortunately for me, my annual perfection year start at the beginning of the year because I'm a January 2nd baby. So I already felt at the end of last year that this year was going to be a very slow year for me. It's going to be a year where I didn't want to do much, even though you see me here and I'm like rebranding myself or whatever. But it was going to be in a very slow 10th house Taurus kind of way, because that's my 10th house. Jupiter in the 12th is offering you a really lovely time to reset and what expansion looks like for you when it comes to your rest and your spirituality. Whether that means you learn something new, whether that means you move and you practice something in another land. It is asking you to reconnect to your intuition. And I think the fixed signs, specifically Leo, have been doing for such a long time that we might have forgotten ourselves and what we really, really want in this lifetime. So the two cards that popped out were the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords in reverse. There is a sense that you had no idea where you were going. It was jumbly Mars in the 12th house, and so many other things going on. But as Jupiter enters there, it can expand the mind and it can expand the heart space. It can expand your intuition. So you can see where you need a little bit more TLC. If that's in groups, if that's in therapy, if that's in spiritual based practices, that is where the abundance is going to come for you in the next year, is realizing what you need to feel emotionally secure and stable as you move forward in this world. So while you didn't know where you're going, I think as Mars has entered the first house again and it's making its way, thank God, like 2 more weeks out of Leo, you are going to be able to clearly receive information, downloads, communication from maybe younger people that come in and it's like, maybe we can do this together. Maybe you should try this as a healing modality. Maybe this will work for you, right? It's that kind of thing. Page of Swords really just comes in and offers you messages and communications that are positive, things that might not be long lasting, but things that can be beneficial for you in the long run. So maybe a younger teacher shows up, maybe just a younger group of people help you navigate this time period. As a rest yoga teacher, a restorative yoga teacher, a sound practitioner, my invitation to you is, if you need therapy. If you've been so in tune in doing cardio and lifting weights and just things that have been exhausting the body, like physical body, my invitation to you is restorative yoga, yoga nidra. Get a Reiki healer, sound practitioner, something that deals with the esoteric, the energy healing, and less with the physical body healing. Because with Leo risings, big Leo placements, and Aries placements tend to do is work the physical body and hoping the mental body comes along with that. I'm going to say this is the year that you work on the mental body and the physical body will follow. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments if it has. Hi, Virgo and Virgo Rising. This is your Jupiter in Cancer video. Hello. Transit video happening June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026 with some retrogrades in there. This is happening in your 11th house of your friendships, your community, your hopes, wishes, and dreams. I love this for you. Expansion in the most emotionally grounded way. I love it. You're really being asked to align yourself with communities and friendships and dreams that are emotionally fulfilling. If you already have your group, amen. If you have been looking for a group of people to vibe with, to emotionally connect with, this is the year that can happen. It is going to take you getting out of your head. Just going to say that. I'm also going to say immediately when Jupiter enters Cancer in your 11th house, it's going to make a square to Aries in your 8th house. So there can be some delays when it comes to reworking your network, merging with other people, connecting with other people. There could be some kind of delays with that. Other people's egos get in the way, selfishness gets in the way, some kind of things like that might happen. But that will dissipate over time, and it's going to make a very harmonious aspect in September 2025 during your birthday season with the North Node in Pisces in your 7th house. So being able to really connect one-to-one relationships, business partnerships, there is this sense of like nurturing something bigger for you, bigger friendships, dreaming bigger about how you're connecting one-to-one with people, and maybe even in your romantic partnerships and your business partnerships as well. And I think that will happen through community. So if you've been really looking for a community or felt like you don't have community, please give yourself this summer to really dabble in, to not hesitate, and dabble into new community spaces that you feel more aligned with. Because through that, you might meet more friends, you might meet a romantic partner if that's in the stars for you, if that's something that you want to do. But allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to end things or leave things that have not been emotionally nurturing with you and your friendships and your community. If it's stunted your dreams, if they've stunted your dreams, it's time to go. And I'm saying this because as I was saying this, the two cards that popped out are the Hanged Man, which, you know, a Virgo is... I know it's the Pisces card, but I know so many Virgos and I love them dearly. They're the only women who can read me to filth, and I respect it, the ones I know. Because I think I said this already. They judging themselves so harshly, so I know what they're giving me is only a tad of what they give themselves, and so I just really respect that. But the two cards that came out was the Hangman, this idea, which is a Pisces card, your seventh house, this kind of like in the in between time. What do I do in the in between time when I'm looking for new friendships? I'm looking for a new community. My dreams are changing. What do I do? Jupiter in Cancer is like, and sorry, and the other card is Death in Reverse. Things have ended. Things have ended. Things have ended. And sadness is there because death and endings, there is a sense of sadness and grief there, but endings are always opportunities for new beginnings, Jupiter and Cancer. And new beginnings in a way that you are healing, you collaborate with people more, your vision is bigger, it's different. I take these two cards as a sense of that this is where you have been, not where you will be in 2026 by the time Jupiter in Cancer is done with you in your 11th house. This is a time to acknowledge that you have been a little bit stagnant in your life, that you have been grieving the things that have ended in your life. But now there's an opportunity with this beneficial planet coming in, this expansive good luck, good fortune planet in a very stable, emotionally nurturing sign coming through your 11th house for you to heal in groups, for you to collaborate with people in ways that heal you and maybe heal themselves, and for your vision to come into fruition. All right, I love this for you. Please let me know in the comments what this means to you. Also, hello, because I'm a restorative yoga teacher and a rest agent as well. Definitely back into nature, back to self. Definitely coming back into the body. I'm going to say that this for you, more than any other sign, is for you to spend more time in your body, less like in the body and less in the mind, ruminating on all the things. So I'm always going to say restorative. I'm always going to say yoga, but restorative is probably going to be the most challenging, but the most beneficial for you during this time because there's so much stillness in restorative yoga that the mind is going to want to wander, but you're going to have to intentionally bring it back to the breath, bring it back to the body, back to the now. And that's what this is giving, and that's what Jupiter in Cancer wants to give to you. Please let me know how this works out for you. Hi Libra and Libra Rising. This is your Jupiter in Cancer transit video. This is happening June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026. There will be some retrogrades in there. This Jupiter in Cancer transit is happening in your 10th house of career, legacy, public image. Immediately when it enters your 10th house, it's going to make a square, of course, to Aries in your 7th house. Like, so there's something about your one-to-one relationships, your romantic partnerships that might be challenged a little bit. Maybe you want to expand in your career and your partner doesn't want to go with you. Something like this. There has to be like some kind of conversation to work through it. All in all, this is a time for you to expand in your career. If you want to become a nurtured leader, let me take that back. A leader who, if in your career space, you want to make some changes that are more emotionally healthy for you, if you're working in a healing arts kind of space, yeah. This is the time to really grow in that. This is the time to expand in that area in a really emotionally fulfilling kind of way. There is some kind of change that might happen in your career space that will lead you to lead from the heart space, because Jupiter is all about expansion. Cancer is all about wanting us to be emotionally healthy, secure, and stable. And I think the way that you're going to be successful in your career and legacy is definitely, let me get this on my way. Hello. Career and legacy is making sure your roots are grounded in your career, making sure it's coming from the heart space so you can have this King of Pentacles kind of mentality. He knows how to make money, he knows how to budget money, he knows how to lead from a space of uh, logic and wisdom, Jupiter, but also for knowing what his subjects need as well. You're a Libra, so it's really not hard to lead from the heart space for you. I think it's about really building from a heart space, but also like combining it with like groundedness as well. I really like this transit for you. In September, it's going to trine your Pisces, which is in your sixth house. So really, hello, why was I going to put that back? So really just making some space for a daily schedule. So if your career, your daily schedule has been wonky and it's not been beneficial to you and you've been overwhelmed, stressed out, and that kind of thing, which has probably been the place, this Jupiter in Cancer trine to the North Node in Pisces in your sixth house can really give you an aha moment so you can create some space in your schedule, so and maybe collaborate with coworkers to be your most optimum self, to do your best work. Let's just pull another card for that. I like this for you because Jupiter in Cancer is a very heart-centered. You're ruled by Venus, a heart-based chart. So I think you will do well. Of course, it's going to square your cardinal placements and then oppose Capricorn in your fourth. So maybe you do have to move. Maybe there is some, I don't want to say man, but masculine figure in your life that like is like, no, I don't want you to do that. Like the sun, like in reverse. Somebody might have been dimming your light in the workspace. Maybe work is dimming your light. That's also very possible. And Jupiter in Cancer is like, come back to the heart space, come back to that playful energy, come back to that nurturing energy, just like that enjoyment of what you really like to do. And that's the way we can build, and that's the way we can become a leader, and that's how we move forward in our career. And if that's about a partnership, because I really kind of feel like maybe there's a partnership in there, I'm like, I don't know if it's you're worried about like leaving your children or your children leaving or something like that in regards to like home, and you're like, I don't know if I should take this job because that really means like we have to transition the kids, or there's just something about the family space, little people, man, that I'm getting that might have you hesitating about how to move forward and make this money. I would say don't. You are a cardinal air sign. The way to get through this is really leaning into the heart space, is really about like taking several deep breaths, getting into a nourishing practice. You know, I'm a rest girly, so if it's about restorative yoga, if it's about collaborating with other people, because you're Libra, so you love collaborating with other people. If this is about getting with groups of people who share the same kind of aspirations or likes that you do to make you feel a little more solid and bounce ideas off of, I think this transit would be a good time to do that. All right, Libra, I will see you next time. Please let me know how this works out for you in the comments. Hi Scorpio, Scorpio Rising, it's your girl, and I am back with your Jupiter in Cancer transit video happening from June 9th to 2025. Please don't let me choke on my spit. To June 29th, 2026. And this for you is happening in your ninth house. Now, Jupiter loves to be in the ninth house, so this is going to be a really great transit for expanding when it comes to learning something new, especially if it's been on your heart for a super long time. Learning a new faith-based practice, anything that has to do with like expansion in wisdom and philosophy and traveling foreign and abroad, especially if it's going back home or to a place where you feel like you're going back home. This is going to be the transit for you to do so. I just really love this for you, honestly. You need it. You deserve it. It's a good one. Immediately on June 9th, I'm going to take that card. Immediately on June 9th, it's going to square Saturn and Aries in your sixth house. Did I have a brain fart? No, sixth house. So it's really about, there might be some obstacle when it comes to like rearranging your schedule so you can do like take the trip or learn something new, like go back to school, anything like that. There might be something in regards to like there's some obstacles. So maybe your coworkers don't, or your job really doesn't want to give you the time off, or you've been super busy. You like there's something off about that. That's not gonna be a super long time. It's just a blip it in this transit. So I wouldn't really, I would say what comes up, because here's the Ace of Wands in reverse. So somebody like not allowing you to be no offers of like joy or creative expression, something like that. And that might like play into it a little bit, or offers of expansion, because the wands definitely can be offers of expansion. So movement, travel. So maybe you're like, I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't know how that's going to work out. It will. And I love it. So let's keep talking. In September 2025, Jupiter in Cancer is going to make a really sweet aspect to the North Node in Pisces, and that is in your fifth house of creative expression, right? Of joy, of children, of dating and romance. So I think personally and intuitively, this is going to be a really heart-centered expansion for you, of you coming back to what you really love, what feels good in the heart space, what feels good in the sacral space, and less about what you're going to do for other people, making other people happy, making sure other people are a priority. If you can follow, yep, another Wands card. If you can follow your own mind, there's something brewing. There's something brewing. If you can follow your own mind and not listen to what everybody else has to say, this can be a really expansive, beneficial period of time for you. If you are listening to other people, if you are waiting for outside validation, if you are letting too many voices catch you up and let you hesitate about how you want to move forward, what you want to learn, where you want to move, the things that you want to do in this space, how you want to be fertile, then things will slow down, and you might not see the benefits of this transit. I think this is coming back to the self. I think this is coming back to your creativity. I think this is about how you move forward and stop listening to other people. There's such mental conflict here, and maybe other people feeling like they have a say-so on how you move, right? This is more about you and how you navigate this and stand on business. Stand on business and move forward in the way that you want to. So you are feeling a little more va 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 voom, a little more creative, a little more free and liberated. The Five of Wands, that is typically, it is conflict, mental conflict. There's fights going on. And the Ace of Wands, no offers of fun, creative expression, travel, anything like that, lets me know that you do have the wants and the desires, but like there's something going on in the background that you are not seeing, that you are not paying attention to, that you need to like let go and release so you can move forward in this. Jupiter in Cancer really wants to hand it all to you. It's going to make lovely aspects to any of your Scorpio placements. So if you need to do the detective work on how to like take that course, move abroad, do any of those things, it's absolutely possible. The thing that's stopping you is maybe like more mental conflict and feeling like you don't have the offers there already. Sometimes we have to make our own offers. Sometimes we have to listen to ourselves and not listen to the crowd. Okay? Let me know how this works out for you. I would really love to know. And I will see you next time. Hi, Sagittarius and Sag Risings. This is your Jupiter in Cancer transit video happening June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026. And there are some retrogrades in there, but for the most part, you got a whole year of Jupiter transiting your eighth house. Hoo-wee. Now, Jupiter expands everything. It expands good things and it also expands not so great things. So we need to be quite careful about what we want expanded in the eighth house, right? If we're in deep, intimate partnerships that are not great for us and we're staying, it's going to expand those. If we are ruminating on why things aren't working out, like why aren't we getting the loans, the funds, the inheritances, why are business partnerships not working out, it will expand that. However, and with that being said, Jupiter in Cancer in the eighth house can definitely have us get into our heart space so that we have the opportunity to really filter out what does not feel good there. What intimate relationships, what intimate connections don't feel good, what business partnerships don't feel good, what loans, grants would not be the right fit for us. So, yeah, so it's really okay. Okay, let's just take those. So it's really about coming back into taking a pause, leaning into the heart space, and seeing what really feels good into the in that house. Hello, in that space. So healing can definitely happen when you recognize maybe the people that you've been fooling around with, not just fooling around with, but also like just not like whatever kind of fooling around, they're not the fit. And then other things can come in so you can expand in the eighth house, deeper connections, more shared resources and finances that are equally aligned to where you want to go and how you want to move forward. Immediately when Jupiter enters Cancer, it's going to make a square to Aries in your fifth house, and that might be like a conversation with a partner about what children look like for y'all, or how you want to creatively express some things, and the partner's like, no, we don't have the money for you to dabble in your hobby or whatever, and you might have to like work that out. What I do love about this, one more thing that I do love about this transit for you is that in September 2025, it is going to make a lovely aspect of trying to the North Node in Pisces in your fourth house of home and family and roots. So the thing about this is, if you have this conversation with the partner about like, I don't know if I want to have children with you, are you the right person to have children? Is this the right time to have children? In September, it opens the possibility for you to be very fertile and maybe and possibly have some babies, expand the family. So I'm just saying, if that is a possibility and you don't want that to happen, then be very careful about, whatever. All in all, this is really going to expand your abundance in your deep, intimate connections. Hello, let's get the cards. The first card that fell out is the Two of Pentacles. So maybe Two of Pentacles in reverse. So maybe you were in a balancing act. You were thinking about like, how am I going to move forward in this partnership, in this business with these people? It didn't feel aligned. And now you're like, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. And I'm saying that because the second card that fell out was the Judgment card. So there was some kind of like clarity that has happened, and maybe you are now coming into having conversations that are like lining up. So whether you had to get rid of somebody or you connected more deeply with somebody, there were conversations. And then the last card that just popped its way out was the Ace of Pentacles. So solid foundation. So whoever you're building or however you're building this intimate connection with, it is long lasting. It is super productive and beneficial and full of abundance. And I love that the Jupiter in Cancer for you is in the eighth house, where you have to be vulnerable, but you also want to build long term as well. And I think the Jupiter in Cancer transit for you will help you do that, to see what needs to be said and also what needs to be done, and to spark these conversations so the Ace of Pentacles can happen. And I really feel like September 2025 is when you will really see like that Ace of Pentacles energy. I think up until then there'll be some conversations of like, oh, how do I talk about this? How do I make sure my intimate connections are a little more aligned and a little more we could both be vulnerable so we can both show up authentically, and this is for the long term. And then when it hits the north node in Pisces in your fourth house, you're like, this is how it's going to be done. Here's what we're going to do. Okay, let's move forward. So I really love that for you. All right, Sag and Sag. Okay, hit the microphone. Okay, Sag and Sag Risings, let me know how this works out for you. Hi, Capricorn and Capricorn Rising. This is your Jupiter in Cancer video. Jupiter in Cancer is going to transit your seventh house from June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026, with some retrogrades in there, of course. What an amazing transit to have in the seventh house, especially if like your Capricorn Venus is there. If you're Capricorn, hello. If you have Capricorn Venus and your Venus is in the seventh house, I think this is going to be like, woohoo, so romantic, so sweet, so lovely. I love it for you. Anywho, before I get into the goodness, let me just tell you about an obstacle. So, in as soon as Jupiter enters Cancer in your seventh house, it is going to square Saturn and Aries in your fourth house, that home family thingy that I talked about a while ago. So there could be some obstacle about you wanting to expand the family, you want to move, and the partner or people in the house that you live with are just like, no, I'm not ready for that. And you're like, okay, well, maybe we can just sit on that conversation, but like, let's really just think about it. So that might happen. So there might be some kind of like challenge, some kind of like difficulty about that. And that's just a part of this obstacle. The other thing that's just like the obstacle, of course, Jupiter in Cancer will like, of course, square Libra in your 10th house as well. But like, I think those are just getting you together, right? Like, I just think there are some obstacles and some challenges that you probably need to talk about so you can move forward a little more authentically, so you could be a little more abundant and prosperous in this transit. I really actually love it. I'm a Capricorn Venus and a Capricorn Sun, so I'm really liking this for us, even though it's our sister sign. I think it can help us soften a little bit, be a little more flowy, a little more intuitive, less by the book, less regimented, less strict that we usually have to do as Capricorn. So I really like this for you. If you've been looking for a partner, if you've been looking to get married, if you've been looking to link up with a business associate, like business or a one-to-one, oh Lord, or find like a therapist, an astrologer, or something like that, that can be happen during this time, especially if it's around like healing things. In September 2025, the North Node in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer they're going to make a really great aspect. So third house things for you. Being able to communicate in your community, maybe teach some new things. It's going to be really beneficial for you. You have this aha moment and you're like, this is where I want to do a short distance trip to. This is what I want to teach. This is what I want to learn. This is what I want to write. This is what I want to publish. And it's all coming from the heart space. I absolutely love this for you. The Ten of Wands popped out first, and that leads me to believe that the Ten of Wands in reverse, that you are laying your burdens down. The things that you have carried, the things that you have been carrying, you're like, you know what? I need a little bit of freedom. I'm ready to move on from this craziness that's been going on probably for the last couple of years. And I'm ready to move on with my life. If that's ready to move on with like a brand new relationship, find a new therapist, find better one-to-one relationships, you're ready to leave it down, let it go and leave it. A 10 is a Capricorn number. It's the completion. I think this is going to be an aha moment, an aha transit for you, where you realize that maybe you have been just overly, you've been giving too much of yourself to others. Whether that's your family, whether that's your job, whether it's whoever it's going to be, you just have been giving too much. And this Jupiter in Cancer is going to ask you to soften a little bit, to think about your needs and how you can move forward in romantic and platonic and business relationships. And I just want to pull one more card for you, because I think if you can take this, if you can take the inklings, Capricorn, this can be really sweet for you. People always think that Capricorns don't have any. Look, and your card came out. Sometimes we get so caught up on. I had a little postie. Sorry, hold on. Because I don't want to show their goodies. The Ten of Wands in reverse and the Devil card. Sometimes we get caught up in doing things that we don't want to do. The Capricorn mentality is very much, I'm going to do it. I don't care what other people say. I think it's the right way. I'm just going to keep doing it, even if it makes no sense, even if you're tired, even if it's not working for you. The job, the relationship, the hobbies, the whatever it is, sometimes sometimes creates us in a very bondage kind of situation, an obsessive kind of situation, to reach the top, to do the things, to be with that person, to get to do all of the rules kind of thing, because a Capricorn is a rule based, you're ruled by Saturn, you're a taskmaster, you're a rule based person. That gets us caught up, which then leads to very Ten of Wands energy. What I think will happen for you, if you allow it to happen during this Jupiter in Cancer, is you releasing the bonds of whatever the hell it is. Releasing the bonds of tradition, releasing the bonds of what the family looks like for you, releasing the bonds of what one-to-one romantic, business, platonic relationships look like for you, because it was weighing heavy on you. It was weighing heavy on you. Jupiter in Cancer comes in, it's like, baby, we need to lean into the heart space. We need to lean into the heart space. We might need to work with somebody to help us do that. We might need to collaborate with other people to do that, but we need to lean into the heart space. Okay? Don't get caught up in this very Capricorn energy, making 1 million plans about how you're going to use this Jupiter in Cancer transit to be the most beneficial of all time. You know, we are only going to see it every 12 years, right? You have a whole year. Soften. Let me know how this resonates with you in the comments. I love to hear from you. How can you use this energy as a Capricorn? You know, I'm a rest enthusiast, a rest person. This is about really crossing out things on the to-do list. If it's all about business, responsibility, dependability, all of those kind of Capricorn things, this is time to kind of cross some of those things off of the list and put some things on the list that are a little more heart-centered selfishness, right? Hanging out with friends that really love on you really well, seeking out a therapist that can really help you work of some why you keep doing shit that you don't need to be doing. I'm always going to say, like, for Capricorns, like working out the body. So some kind of workout that helps you release, like somatic kind of working out, yoga, nidra, restorative yoga. Anything that brings in peace and rest in your life is something that would be really beneficial for you during this transit. Please let me know if this is something that resonates with you. I think I said that already, but I will see you next time. Bye. Hey, Aquarius and Aquarian risings. Is that right? I don't know. But anyway, this is your Jupiter in Cancer transit video. This is happening June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026. And there will be retrogrades there. So, there's going to be a little going backwards. But for the most part, it's here for a whole year. It's going to transit your sixth house of health, routines, and the house of acts of service. Okay. Immediately when it enters your sixth house, it's going to make a square to Saturn and Aries in your third house. There is some communication, miscommunication about like how your daily schedule and your teaching, your learning, your community is bugging you. It's not full of heart-centered loveliness. So maybe there's a communication, there's an email you need to send to coworkers, to your job or something like that, and you're like, I need a break, okay? I need a break because I'm feeling overwhelmed. Third house, speaking it. I need a break. I am tired. Come on. Okay? So if that is the case, then definitely speak up for yourself. Take a little mental break, have some time off. That would be really suited if that is happening for you from now until the end of June. If you can. I know everybody can't, so I don't want to be like, you just think people can take off. No, I know you can't. Like, I live in America as well. I know how it is. But if you can somehow in your daily schedule set aside some time for a breath practice, a restorative yoga practice, something, going to the spa, going to the sauna, some breath work, then that would really suit you, be beneficial for you. All right. As Jupiter in Cancer makes its transit September 2025, it's going to make a very lovely, harmonious aspect to the North Node in Pisces in your second house. So whatever you have to say to the people at your job for your day-to-day schedule, your career, your colleagues, come September, you have set yourself up for maybe a little more money, a little kind of a raise or something like that, a bigger budget. It's really going to have you going, I found a way to navigate this so I can make more money, make more income, feel a little more valued, right? And you're like, okay, I feel good. Okay, now let's just talk about what Jupiter in Cancer in the sixth house is really about. It's really about leaning into the heart space, doing something that is specifically for you. So really figuring out what your day-to-day schedule and routines look like so you can be mentally well, physically well, and you can support other people as well. It is a time where you can do something different to nurture your nervous system. And when your nervous system is nurtured, then you can nurture other people. This is really going to have you saying like, hey, I need to set some boundaries. And maybe that's new to you. Maybe setting boundaries is new to you. You're taking a risk by setting some boundaries with people. And especially if it's like work and colleagues. But it is going to be very beneficial for you because what Jupiter in Cancer can do, if you've been feeling exhausted, burnt out, sick, it can expand that. It's Cancer. So take care of yourself with this transit. Do not let I think I can help everybody. I can do it all. I can be here for everyone. You can, but not from an empty cup, okay? So there has to be something that you say, and the card at the bottom of the deck was the Ace of Swords. So, like, you got to stand on business. You have to maybe actually seek out some people who can help you communicate those things and move in that way. So you don't feel so overwhelmed. And no one knows what you're going through unless you let them know, right? Like, let's be honest. If you don't let them know, then they are not going to know. So you really have to be on your vulnerability game. Jupiter in Cancer is really going to ask you to Stop being so in the air with your ideas, right? Like so intellectual, and settle into the heart space. What rituals do you need to do? What practices do you need to do so you can come back to yourself, so you can have an abundant sixth house, an abundant self care practice, an abundant ability to really care for others in a way that you might not be able to do so right now because you are feeling a little run down. I think this is about people, like, once you acknowledge that you need to say some things, set some boundaries, and it might feel risky and it might feel new, then people do come in and like, oh, let me help you. Let me do that for you. Or let me show you how you can move through this. Or let me give you this person that helped me get through this, right? But there has to be some communication. And you're no stranger to communication. You're a fixed air sign, so you know how that rolls. I just think that it might be, you might feel a little hesitant to do so because it's a little risky. And we know fixed signs don't like taking risks. We know they're stubborn. We know this. And maybe you most of all, you know. So I'm just going to say very like nonchalantly, but also chalantly, speak up, set some boundaries, take a risk, do something new when it comes to self-care. Maybe the things that you have been doing are not working. And then watch others come in and offer you ways of support. Okay. Let me know how this works out for you, Aquarians. I really want to know. Drop me a comment. Like I said, breath work would be really lovely. Walks. I'm trying to think. Like maybe listening to ocean waves would be really beneficial to you during this transit, but definitely let me know. And if you'd like to work with me, also let me know that. See you next time. Oh, Lord. Hi, Pisces and Pisces Rising. This is your Jupiter and Cancer transit video happening from June 9th, 2025 to June 29th, 2026. Some retrogrades in there, so, that's all right. Anywho, what a lovely transit for you. It will make a trine to your rising sign in any of your water placements for the whole year. So that's a really lovely, beneficial, prosperous aspect. I do want to mention that it is going to make a square to Aries in your second house. So maybe you are being led to find your self-worth outside of other people's validation. Maybe it's about coming back to yourself. Maybe you're trying to budget a little more. So they're like, especially if your family is expanding, because this transit for you is happening in the fifth house of creativity, pleasure, and your inner child, but also like children as well. So this might have something to do with that. And September 3rd, 2025 is going to make a really lovely aspect to your North Node, which is in your first house. So really you saying like, this is how I want to be more creative. This is how I want to show joy and express my passion and date and things like that. So I think it's really sweet for you. I love it for you. I think you can kind of maybe get like a little overly ambitious when it comes to your creative expressions and your passion and dating and romance, which I think there's just watch out for that, because that can be a theme. Like you're like overly optimistic, right? Because when Jupiter moves into the fifth house, which he's actually comfortable in, if you're thinking about like having children, if you're thinking about getting pregnant, is a possibility. So definitely take care of that if that's something that you don't want to happen. Anywho, what a beneficial, if you're thinking about starting that creative project, going back into dancing, going back into singing, painting, art, whatever it is, Pisces, this is the transit for you to do so. This is the it will be very beneficial. It is really about coming back into your heart space. finding out what brings you joy. I know it's been a crazy almost 3 years for you because with Saturn there, Neptune there, it's been actually quite wonky. I love this. Let me cover up her bits. Um, the Star and the Page of Pentacles. I just got a little chill and maybe a little teary eyed for you. I know it has been quite difficult for you for the last 3 years. Job insecurity, probably slowing down of like what you want to do in this world, because Saturn in the first house is a very tough transit. If you were going through your Saturn return, also a difficult transit. So it has been quite challenging for you over the last 2.5, 3 years. Jupiter in Gemini that's leaving has challenged you a bit too. So you've been going through lots of mutable squares. Um, and now you're in this space. And I'm going to say, I love that the star popped out first, because with the north node in your first house and the south node in your seventh, there is this time of healing, letting go of very Virgo like analytical things in the seventh house and moving forward of like hope, flow, intuition in the first house. There's this deep healing work that is going to take place, and you're up for it because whatever happened in the last 3 years, you're ready for that. You're ready for that to go. Page of Pentacles, meaning offers are going to come in for stability, for groundedness, for more abundance, prosperity, right? The page is maybe somebody younger coming in, and this is in the fifth house. So this could be like maybe there's offers of having children, or maybe there's an offer of romantic flirtation from somebody that's younger. But you've done the healing work, so you can make that happen, right? Excuse me. I really love this for you. I think you deserve it. And that's really wild for me to say, because I usually will slander Pisces at any given moment because of where Pisces falls in my chart. And they have taught me really harsh lessons. Not because I don't like y'all as humans. And I don't make general statements anymore. But I feel like it has been rough for you. And I can vibe with that. So you definitely deserve this if you've been doing the work and you are evolving and healing, and I have talked about like really dealt with the shadow. We can see it, right? The star card, we can see it. It's super sweet. And the Page of Pentacles is like, because you have healed, because you have given a space for your inner child to really be free, then the offers of creative expression, maybe making money, doing your creative artsy fartsy thing is there for you now. And I just really love that for you. Like I said in the beginning, I got like a little bit of chills and a little bit teary eyed because I know you've been going through it and you've been like, when is it going to happen for me? You know, Jupiter and Cancer transit in your fifth house is like, now. Listen to your intuition. Stay grounded. If that's the thing that I can definitely offer you as a restorative yoga teacher and rest practitioner, is definitely don't overdo it, because Jupiter really will have you overindulge, overly have you just doing. So take time out to rest, take time out to ground, still continue to do the healing practices. And I just definitely think that this is going to be super beneficial for you. Let me know how this works out for you, Jupiter. Hello. Let me know how this works out for you, Cancer. I love it so much. Alrighty. I will see you next time. Please comment and let me know how it resonates. Bye.